As kids across the country return to classrooms this fall, experts are reminding parents, educators, and communities that back to school season is not the only time for learning. It's also a critical one to protect children from exploitation. Human traffickers often prey on young people during moments of transition when vulnerabilities like stress, isolation, and social pressures are heightened. The Department of Homeland Security's Blue Campaign is launching a new initiative to equip adults with the tools to recognize the signs of trafficking, report suspicious activity, and start important conversations with youth. Joining us today is Erica Reed, Acting Section Chief at the Center for Countering Human Trafficking, to share what families, schools, and communities need to know how to keep kids safe. Good morning, Erica. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, why is that back to school season such a critical time to raise awareness about human trafficking?
Well, first thing first is we know that kids are now back into their routine in so many cases of they're at school bus stops, they're back at, you think about homecomings and games. So they have a routine that shows that a trafficker can pick up on that routine and know exactly where they're going to be. And so we want to make sure that we're also in those spaces raising awareness so that kids can know how to say no to traffickers if they're encountered with anything.
Now, many people assume trafficking only happens in big cities or far from home. Can you explain why this is a misconception?
That is absolutely a misconception. Human trafficking happens everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's in a city or if it's in a rural area. Human trafficking can happen. And we have to think about the places. If we think of it happening everywhere, where could those places be? Especially in rural areas, we think about agriculture. We can also think in big cities where it could be at a hotel or at a large major event. But also, it can happen in the home. So if it can happen in the home, we know that that can be in a rural area and also in a city.
Now, what are some of the vulnerabilities traffickers look for in young people during this time of year?
So some of the vulnerabilities that we know that some of the traffickers can look for is maybe lack of support from either family or friends. There's a chance that a young person could be starting a new school. We know how scary that could possibly be. It also could be many other risk factors that play a role in how traffickers can connect. Being in those other social settings where they're just trying to make friends is one example or a few examples. And where they're meeting them can be in person at those places that I just talked about, maybe homecomings, parties, games, football games, and then also online, where they can meet them either on social media or they can meet them at gaming sites as well.
So, what are the most common warning signs that a child or teenager may be at the risk of trafficking?
I always tell people to learn about the warning signs or indicators. They can always go to our website, which is dhs.gov/blue campaign. But I'll give you a few today. One could be bruising. And I'm not talking about the one kid that plays sport, but we noticed that they have new bruisings or tattoos or brandings, where it's not like a best friend tattoo or coming of age tattoo. And that may be a little different for your child. Other ones could be behavioral change. You know your child, you know the children that are in your life. Are they outgoing and all of a sudden they're not as outgoing and they may be a little secretive? And some that we dismiss could possibly be like large lump sums of money all of a sudden, and we know it didn't pay for it, their summer job didn't give it to them. And then also expensive items. Maybe they're gifted expensive items and we're trying to figure out where is this coming from? That's an open opportunity to talk to your child or the kids in your life.
Are there specific changes in behavior at school or online that parents, teachers, or caregivers should pay attention to?
Can you repeat that?
Are there specific changes in behavior at school or online that parents, teachers, or caregivers should pay attention to?
Sure, yes. Some that we can think of are like grade changes is a great example. But going back to those behavior, maybe they were that outgoing student and now all of a sudden they're very reserved. And we know that teenagers can be teenagers, but let's say that they're very secretive all of a sudden. Maybe they got a new group of friends or a new romantic partner, a new boyfriend or girlfriend, where they are like a little distant and not really kind of reserved and stepping away from other people. Are they secretive even when they're typing or online as well, not just from their parents, but also their friends?
Now, what role can educators, coaches, or even youth leaders play in preventing trafficking and protecting students?
First things first is they have to learn the signs of human trafficking. They have to absolutely understand what human trafficking is. They can go to our website and learn about human trafficking. We also provide free training. So dhs.gov/blue campaign, we can come out and do free training. Then secondly, I think they can share our resources. Don't stop there. You can order our resources on our website, which are posters and indicators. Share them around the school, around the community library as well. And then lastly, be that trusted adult. Let those children know that you're cultivating a space where they can have an open communication so that if anything is happening to them, they can come to you and you'll know how to report it as well.
Now, can you tell us more about the Blue Campaign's Back to School initiative and the resources available for families and schools?
Sure. So the Back to School Blue Campaign, we are a national awareness campaign. Our job is to help educate the public on how to recognize and report possible cases of human trafficking. And our Back to School program is understanding that traffickers are meeting young people in these spaces that they know they're going to be, is like the mall, and they know they're going to be online, and they know they'll watch TV with their friends. So we're in those spaces as well. So we're at those bus stops, which are our out-of-home advertisements. We're also on streaming sites as well. And then we're also in our social media to raise awareness about what human trafficking is, how to keep themselves safe, and then how to properly report if there is any possible cases.
Now, what message do you want most to leave with the parents and adults watching today about protecting children from trafficking?
First thing first is learn about what human trafficking is. They can go to our website. They can also share our posters, but also our videos. Open our videos up. Share them with those young people in your life to start an open communication, an open dialogue about what human trafficking is, dispel those myths. And then be that trusted adult so that they know they can come to you if there is ever any case, whether it's happening to them or someone in their community.
I've been speaking with Erica Reed, Acting Section Chief at the Center for Countering Human Trafficking. Erica, I found out years ago that here in St. Louis, there's a small section right here in St. Louis that ranks 14th in the nation as far as sex trafficking. So I really do appreciate you joining us on Morning Blend. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.